Warning. The following video contains strong language that some viewers may find offensive or disturbing.
What all too common trait do you find extremely unattractive in the opposite or same sex? People being obsessed with their social media presence. I don't understand this either. Especially if you don't have a huge following. Like the majority of people. Who do you think is really gonna care at the end of the day besides you? Spending all of your time trying to get clout is a waste of time. IMHO. Inflated egos. Entitlement. Incapability of being humble and make fun of yourself. I read that as inflated egos. Yum yum. The whole, let me push all your buttons. You're wrong, I'm right, I do it because I think it's funny to rile you up, shtick. Then repeat it immediately. And when you ask them to stop, it's all, guess I just won't have fun or joke around anymore, and then avoid talking to you at all. It's cool how some people manage to be funny while also being a nice person. Someday I'm sure you'll figure at least one of them out. Single quote. Always on their phone. This shit annoys me so much. I want to talk to someone while looking at them. When they are constantly on their phone, it makes me feel like I am talking to myself, and it's awkward as fuck. Self-absorbed behavior. The Kardashian housewives of syndrome. You are not the star of some reality show. Stop acting like it. I get such secondhand embarrassment when average people post to social media like they're famous. It seems to be the norm now to post content like you're addressing fans and not literally just your friends and family as most are. Hi guys, here's a quick haul I've picked up from Lush. Haven't been posting much lately due to change of circumstances, but I'm back. Big thank you to Topshop for my new jeans. They are amazing. I'm sure your 200 followers are on the edge of their seats. When they think that their taste in music makes them a superior person instead of just having different tastes. Applies to both genders. Edit, phrasing. Bruh, this. Not just music, but clothes, favored TV shows, or YouTubers. Most people usually grow out of thinking that their interests are a substitute for a personality around the mid-20s. Everyone says they want their partner to be super career ambitious. Screw that. I say put in your 40 hours then chill. I want someone who knows how to relax. My partner told me I'm the first partner who won't let him work himself to death. I don't understand that attitude. Don't you like spending time together? The inability to admit they are wrong, or when they apologize and then justify their actions. It depends on the way they justify their actions after apologizing though. It could just be an explanation on why they acted or thought the way they did. To give some insight on their thought process so you don't assume they're just genuinely stupid. There's a fine line between explanation and excuse. I've never understood why people hate others explaining their mistakes. Explaining the thought process helps identify the step that led to the mistake and helps with getting it right the next time. What's so bad with that? Edit, since I got many similar comments. I will try to reply in more detail about my comment. I put mistakes in two categories, emotional versus non-emotional. Emotional mistakes are ones that hurt others' feelings. In most cases where one person is clearly in the wrong. You should not explain these mistakes because explaining is missing the whole point and causing more hurt feelings. If you forget your so's birthday, you should not be explaining why. However, with non-emotional mistakes, e.g., work, study, parenting children, not listening to explanation or even justification can be harmful and counterproductive. For example, if a child lies to their parents, it's crucial for the child to explain, justify their lying than to hear them say, I was wrong. Another example, if a coworker admits their work mistake, no longer shifting blame. It's important to learn their explanation, justification to find the false step in their logic. Edit 2, with emotional mistakes. There are scenarios in which the two parties do not agree on the nature of the mistake. In the scenario when a couple in a romantic relationship fights, oftentimes it's more about disagreement than one hurting the other's feeling. For example, when the two value something differently, does not include loyalty, honesty, and other basic principles, and fight about it. That mismatch will cause hurt feelings for one or both. In this instance, the person first admitting wrongness even if followed by justification is throwing an olive branch and should at least deserve some credit because this shows willingness to have communication, and communication is key in any relationship. Overtalking. Not having a give and take in the conversation. I am a guy and a coworker just talks and talks and talks, then starts fucking talking faster. Like I say a sentence. He responds with 10. I just don't expand on the conversation anymore when he finishes because I want him to GTFO and let me take over the shift. Shouting at their partners in public. You would hate my parents, lol. I feel the same way. Oh, well, I've been guilty of doing the same, and it's one of those things that make me feel like shite about myself every time I remember it. Hard to get turns to hard to want real fast. As a woman, I've had a lot of people tell me I'm too easy. Countless men and women say I come on too strong, aka respond to texts in a decent time. Have sex quickly if I'm feeling it, etc. The irony is, I just weed out the people who are playing games really quickly because I don't play games. If they want to chase, they can go find a girl who wants to be chased. I don't have time to waste manipulating my way into an unhealthy relationship. I've had the same happen as a guy. People always make comments on how I ask women out, tell them I like them way too quickly. Thing is, I used to be the guy that waited so long that we become friends and it gets weird. Or they find someone else while I'm fucking around. Now I make my intentions very clear very early on. Either you're into it or you're not. Had way more success this way. The I am an asshole and I don't care if people call me an asshole attitude. Also though, I tell it like it is or always speak my mind people. Who are basically unfiltered assholes. I am just too crazy, yuck. Not like other girls. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Yeah, her best is probably going to be her partying and tripping on Molly until 5 a.m. when she calls you and asks you to pick her up. Acting all cute and as if it was hilarious that she just did that. People who do things for clout and don't actually care for being genuine until they need something from you. Person gives homeless man X amount of money and he cries type of videos. Don't show me that shit. Give the man the money. Feel good about yourself. And fuck off. Don't give it to him and expect me to praise you. You attention seeker. It absolutely is a good deed, but it's never done to solely help the guy. It's done for internet praise. Just general, toxic, jestless behavior. No, I do not want to sleep with the barista because they asked my name for my order. Yes, I was told to treat as I wanted to be treated as a child, so I will be polite and smile to others from time to time. This does not mean I want to shag every human being I interact with. I had an ex exactly like this. I was once in the hospital getting stitches and they accused me and the doctor flirting with each other. I'm sorry, but someone was doing me a favor and I didn't want to sit there in silence. Being rude to wait staff. It shows an utter lack of understanding, empathy to others. Not caring that the staff are other people. It's often associated with the person thinking they're better than others. It's a complete turnoff for me. And would refuse to date someone like this. It's actually a great test for weeding out people who become monsters when given the smallest amount of perceived power over someone else. Shit-talking others to make themselves look better. If someone shit-talks everyone else when they're not around, I usually start to wonder how they talk when I'm not in the room. The alpha mentality. Anytime a dude calls himself an alpha male, I always think of Pinocchio when he says, "I'm a real boy." Guys that find general housework to be demeaning and beneath them, so they expect women to do it for them. While they sit there, doing absolutely nothing, how can someone be comfortable watching someone do absolutely everything for them? This isn't typical. But I've actually heard a guy try to explain that this behavior is fair because if there was ever a home invasion, he'd be the one that would have to take the bullet and fight the guy off. I mean, a hypothetical situation that will probably never happen is the reason you can act like a pathetic douche every day of your life? WTF. I was just about to say this. I also get super annoyed when they say things like, we split chores, when that normally means she cooks, cleans, does dishes, etc. everyday chores, and he mows the lawn and takes out the trash once a week max chores. Like, that's not equal at all. Unless one person works vastly longer hours. You should be spending roughly the same amount of time doing chores each day per week. Messiness and having poor hygiene. I was recently told by a friend that his mom thinks of me as a clean person. And this isn't uncommon, either. People always tell me how I don't stink like all the other guys. My secret? I just shower daily, not to sound superior, because believe me, I'm not, but it's so easy to be clean. And people do notice. Edit, if you have a financial, skin, or mental health issue, 3 things that I never thought I'd end up grouping together. Then of course that should be taken into consideration. Narcissistic. That goes to both genders. Overconfidence is really nasty, because it usually means that they think everyone, including you, is beneath them and treat you accordingly. I have enough enemies who try to put me down to lift themselves up in my life to not date one of them. Edit, seeing as many people didn't like the word enemies. I'm here to explain. By enemies I meant assholes in general. Anyone who takes any advice, disagreement, constructive criticism as a personal attack. In all honesty, I really struggle with this. I hate myself when people are unhappy with me or if I upset someone, and I take everything very seriously. A major flaw. Acting the martyr. Yes. Being over the top selfless is just another form of passive aggressiveness. Right, I am completely giving myself up for you to an extent that you could never return. You are such an asshole. And someday you will suffer when you realize that I have been so good to you. Playing hard to get. If you like me, just fucking tell me. Stop beating around the bush. Or when you ask them out, they say no, and a couple of months later they tell you they interested in you but they just wanted you to insist more. Once someone tells me no, I'm done. I'm not gonna start harassing you. I'm straight, but a trait I find annoying in other men is false confidence. A book I once read described it better, but essentially a guy will to give you a definite answer even if he doesn't know. Then they won't own it if they're wrong. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. See you next time.